most people, when they come on to do their videos on the internet, they've prepared, they've put things down in writing, they've put things on paper. I don't want to do that. I want to be as spontaneous and talk from the heart as much as possible. So the theme of this video is about survival. As you all are well aware, I've been doing videos since Don died and allowing you to be with me on my journey. And it's been a very, It's been a very upbuilding, disappointing, scary journey. But I just want to tell all of you out there who's I want to tell all of the ladies out there who's watching this, or men, but especially young widows who's experiencing the loss of their husband. I can only put it this way: when you're a young kid, you watch these movies about planets or people going to space and finding aliens and exploring different planets. But when your loved one dies, when your husband dies, when he leaves you, you actually transported to another planet, a planet that only widowers know about. It's a place of, it's another planet, a planet that only we can go to. And we can look at it in a way that's a lonesome planet, or we can look at it as an explorative planet. So this last year, I've had moments where it's been an alien planet, but I've also had moments where it's been an explorative planet. And that's the planet that I've tried to explore, view as a learning curve, kind of put yourself in a scientific situation where you're learning, developing, observing, experimenting, experiencing. So I'd just like to share some of those moments with you where it's been alien, where it's been explorative, where it's been experimentative, where I've observed and learned. And first of all, as I've said to you, one of the things that was very alien to me on this planet of losing Don, and planet, let's call it the planet of being a widow or widower, is the reactions of people. It's actually very, in the beginning, it's very disconcerting, but eventually it becomes, you look at people and you learn a lot about the reactions and life, and it teaches you to face what we all feel. And for Don dying has taught me to face every single fear that I have feared in my life. So going to another planet is fearsome. Living on another planet can be fearful. It's kind of like, do you remember Star Trek? I don't know if any of you watched that, but it was they didn't know what they were coming to. They were mapping the system. They were learning about different life forms out there. It's kind of when your loved one dies, your husband dies, you're moving through this space that's dark, but you're learning about different things. And the one thing I learned is people's reactions to you. And it's taken me over a year to accept that people go into either distant mode, or they go into motherly mode, or they go into absolute ignore mode. So the dynamics of your relationship with people change, or they become non-existent. And this has been a real hard journey for me to accept. I do believe right now, after 14 and a half months of Don's passing, I have come to grips with people's reactions. And I don't think any reactions now can actually hurt me or upset me, because I've experienced the best of people's reactions, the most compassionate of people's emotions towards me. I've experienced the hostility of people's emotions towards me, the absolute horrible emotions of hatred towards me. And it's all the things that you kind of fear in life, because you don't want these reactions towards you. And it's a time when you're so vulnerable that these are the reactions that people impose on you. And of course, some of them may be real, some of them may be imagined, and some of them may be exaggerated. Let's put that out there. I mean, I'm not sitting here and saying, right, they wrong, I'm right, they right, I'm wrong. I'm just saying this has been my journey. You think of the spaceship Star Trek. You know, you think of the captain, you think of everybody on board that fictional ship, and you just realize that each of them has their journey, sees it in a different way, but they're still there, they're still in space. So my journey has been one that has been in a dark space, on a dark planet, but enlightenment within. And the reason I'm making this video is because I know I've spoken to a few widows and widowers, and those who want to talk, there's those that don't, and we respect that. But it's a planet that even we don't understand, and we're exploring. And if any of you are watching this video and you have a friend or family member that's lost a husband or a wife, it's very important to let them have this journey and to put yourself in a place where you feel uncomfortable as a friend or a family member or as a colleague or whatever role you're playing in this person's life or take the responsibility for, is to know that they are really suffering and they're on this journey and on a planet that's not your planet right now. And it's important to see life through their eyes and for you to become what they need you to become. And sometimes they don't know what you need to be. But things that are evil and hostile, things like jealousy, envy, anger, and hurt towards a widow or widower, it needs to be put away till another time when they're in a better place, or they've come down to earth, or they put back on earth, and this takes a long time. So that's been my journey with people and emotions. I've also faced fears of pushing the boundaries on achieving my goals. I'm using this energy, this drive that death brings. I call it the deathly drive. It either drives you to anger, drives you to bitterness, drives you to hostility, drives you to a place in a corner that you want to sit, or it drives you the other way. It can drive you to work, it can drive you to energy, it can drive you to becoming who you've always wanted to be. So I'd like to encourage you, like it's encouraged me, to hone in on that energy, the death energy, to drive you to a place that's where you want to be, because you've experienced the ultimate. I spoke to someone and they said they won't even think about, let alone understand or go to the place of thinking about losing your husband or your wife. If you just sit down now, close your eyes, if you're watching this as somebody who hasn't lost your husband, just close your eyes and think of what your life would be. Or automatically you go into, I'm not going there. I can't go there. I'm switching off. This is not where I'm going. But we've been forced. Life has forced us onto this planet, onto this life, into this life of darkness and of upset, of confusion, and that's where we are forced to go. You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there, but we've been forced to go there. So back to those who have lost their loved ones. There's no other pain. You've experienced the ultimate pain. Nothing can hurt you more than leaving your loved one in the hospital to be put for, I'm sorry, I'm so blunt, in a morgue, because that's where they go, and then to be burned, cremated, or put in the grave. What other pain is? None. So you've experienced the ultimate pain. No one else can hurt you. Nothing else can touch you now. So go out there, experience your dream, and set your boundaries and be what you need to be for you and your husband and your loved one. Because I can tell you now, nothing is more painful. And we can actually thank our dear loved ones for... Some people hate or angry with their loved ones for dying. I thank Don every day for giving me this opportunity to have felt this intense pain, because that intense pain has forced me to face every single fear that I've had. I've had the fear of losing friends, which I've lost. I've had the fear of losing family, which I've lost. I've had the fear of moving, which I've done. I've moved. I've had the fear of starting a new career, which I'm doing. I've had the fear of living in this world without my husband, and I'm doing it. And you can do it too. So use your pain to drive you to be better, and thank your loved one for giving you this opportunity. And some of you out there will agree. Some of you out there will disagree. Some of you out there are not at this level, and I respect that. But this is how I'm conceptualizing the death of my husband. This is the way I'm finding clarity in his death. This is my way of healing. And if you've watched it, thank you so much, because I hope it helps you. If you haven't watched it to the end or couldn't watch it to the end, okay, I respect that. But please, please try to use your pain to heal, and use that pain to face every fear, because you will be dynamic and strong, and you are going to go to planets and places that nobody else has ever explored. Thank you.